Hello! In this video, I'm going to talk you through the first workout on the 7-day vegan plan. Okay, it's a really good workout. It's going to work your entire body. It's perfect for developing strength and stability and internal core strength, which is going to be ideal for helping you to improve your running times and get fitter, healthier and stronger. So without further ado, let's get straight into the workout. Now, the first part of the workout is a 5-minute cardio warm-up. So I'm going to assume that you've already done that. I'd recommend going for a jog. If you want to go for a bike ride, that's also fine. If you're doing it outside like this, I just think a jog is great because it gets the blood pumping around the whole body. Once you've done the jog, we're going to get straight into some dynamic stretching, which is designed to loosen up all the joints and prepare us for the workout ahead. So what we're going to do, the first dynamic stretch is going to be a squat to overhead raise. This is going to work and warm up the glutes, the quads, the hamstrings, the calves, and also our shoulders as well. So what we're going to do is 10 to 15 reps of this. As we go into it, we can bend down a little bit more and raise our shoulders up, looking straight ahead. I'm pushing straight through the ground with my calves and my quads, and I'm engaging my glutes at the top. Okay, so we're going to do between 10 and 15 of this. I've not been counting now, so I'm not actually sure quite how many I've done. So we'll stop there. Once you've done that, we're going to go straight into some shoulder rolls. So we're going to do it, you can do it one at a time or together like this, like I'm doing. I like doing it together because it saves a bit of time. And this really opens up the shoulder girdle, which is very important because the shoulder is one of the very easiest parts of the body to injure when you're doing exercise. So we really want to make sure that the shoulders are nicely warmed up. You can go backwards as well if you want. And once that's done, what we're going to go into is some side turns, and this is going to work the abdomen, the abs, the lower back as well. Okay, so we're going to go to the side, not too far, just to where it feels natural for you. Same 10 to 15 reps. What you can also do is go a bit lower and make the turns a bit bigger. So now you're starting to bring into it your upper back as well. And you can actually bend your legs a little bit as well. Okay? Simple as that. The other thing I like to do before I work out, it's not so relevant for this because we're in the park and we're not doing any weight stuff or any really strenuous work with the grip. But another thing I like to do is just put my arms out to the side like this and just open and close my hands, and that just loosens up the fingers and the hands, and you'll be amazed at how delicate the hands are. So we really want to protect them to ensure long-term health. So once we've done that, we're going to go straight into the first exercise. The first exercise is the left leg and the right leg squats. Now, if you think of squats, you might think of someone lifting a bar on their back in the gym, and that's all well and good for the gym, but we don't want to use the gym, and actually you can get just as good a work from doing a squat with your body weight if you do it effectively. So what we're going to do is our left leg and our right leg separately, and we're going to do a body weight squat. The benefit of doing a body weight squat is you recruit a whole load of core muscles and supporting muscles that you wouldn't normally activate by doing a squat with a bar on your back in the gym. So this is a really good exercise for developing your whole lower body, but also your abs, your core, and your stabilizing muscles as well as your balance, which of course for running is a really important thing to have. So what we're going to do is we'll do the left leg first, then we'll go to the right leg. Now, there's different ways you can do it. I'm going to start with the easy way and then work into the harder way. So the easiest way, first of all, is to choose the leg you're going to use, which is the left one here, and then go down, and as you see, my other leg, my right leg, is also on the floor. I'm going to push up as hard as I can with my left leg, really feeling it in the glutes and the quads here, and I'm going to give myself just enough of a push with my other leg to get me through the movement. Okay, so we're going to go down and up, and you'll really feel this throughout the whole leg. It's a really good exercise. As I said, I personally think it's just as good, if not better, than squats in the gym. It's a brilliant alternative, and I absolutely love it. So we're going down and up. Now, I recommend doing a couple of warm-up sets of this. If you feel any pressure in your knee or anything that feels unusual, just stop straight away. You shouldn't, but that's why it's really good to ease into it, just to actually really, warm up the ligaments and the actual joints itself. So going down, and what we're doing is we're really just pushing up vertically through the floor. So we want to feel the force kind of going just straight up through our heel, up through our calf, and through the knee, and into our upper leg here. So again, I'm looking straight ahead, my core's engaged, and I'm just giving myself enough of a push with the other leg to get me through the movement. Okay, so going down and up, down and up. My core's engaged, I'm looking straight ahead, down and up, and then down and up. And again, take it easy, start with it like this, because this is the easiest way to work into it, and it's a lot harder than it looks. You'll probably be quite surprised at how difficult it is doing it just like that. So we're going to do it just like that for both sides. If you feel like you can actually do the exercise without putting much pressure through your other leg, you can do the next variation, which I'm going to show you now. But just for when we start out with the program, what we want to do is give ourselves just enough of a push with this leg, and then give ourselves less and less and less of a push as we get stronger, to get ourselves through the movement. It might feel a bit unusual the first time you do this, pushing with one leg and assisting with the other, but it's completely natural, and after you've done it for a few sets, it'll start to feel really natural for you too, okay? I'll move on to the other leg now. Let's just suppose that you can do that absolutely fine by giving yourself barely any support. The next thing to do is a squat with your other foot off the ground. So this time, and one thing you might notice is if you're using spongy trainers on like what I've got here, it makes it harder. It's much better for this to either do it barefoot or with a very flat shoe, something like a Converse, or ideally I suppose just barefoot if you're doing it on the ground where it's convenient to do it barefoot. What you're going to do is you're going to take your foot off the ground, look straight ahead, and again just here balancing alone is quite an issue. And you're just going to go down, looking straight ahead. You can put your arms out in front of you like this if you want to give you more support. My core's engaged, and you're just going to go down as far as is comfortable, and then push yourself back up nice and slowly, and down and up. And again, you'll really probably be quite surprised at actually how difficult this is on your core as well as the actual legs. So I'm going down and up. And what you want to get to the stage eventually, and don't feel like in any rush to do this, but over time you want to get to the stage where you can go all the way down like this and up. Okay, so that's the first exercise, squats. What we're going to do is we're going to alternate going between left leg and right leg. So we're going to go left leg first, or right leg, whichever you choose, and then as soon as you've finished, go straight into the opposite side. Okay, and then once you've done, give yourselves as much of a rest as you feel you need. I normally like to leave 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, sometimes even more, if I've really gone to failure, which is when I can't do any more. But you're going to find out what works for you just by getting into it and doing it. Obviously, we need to make it fit our time requirements as well. We don't want to drag it out too much, okay? So that's squats. Now let's move on to exercise number 2, press-ups. Press-ups are an absolutely brilliant exercise to really develop your core stability, which is essential for running, but also it develops strength in the chest, the shoulders, the triceps, and actually the glutes and the lower body as well, if you do the exercise correctly. Now, press-ups can be quite a difficult exercise to do, so for those that can't normally do press-ups, the common advice is to get down and do them like this, with your knees on the floor. So essentially you have your knees on the floor like that, and then you just go down and up, down and up. Now, that's fine, but the only issue with doing them like that is you lose stability in your core, and actually we want to use the press-up as an exercise to really focus on developing the core. And again, with all exercises, we want to have as much stability throughout our whole body as possible. So a much better way than doing press-ups with your knees on the floor, if you can't yet do a full press-up on the floor, is to do it the correct press-up position, but on a raised surface. Now this can be done anywhere. It can be done in the house, it can be done in the park like we are now. So I'm going to show you exactly how you can do a press-up on a raised surface in the park like we are now, okay? So I'm just going to walk over here to the bench. And what we're going to do is, the higher you are on the raised surface, the easier it is. So I'll just demonstrate what it looks like on this raised surface. What I'm doing is, first of all, my whole body is tense. I'm screwing my feet into the ground. I'm tensing my glutes, my core's engaged, my shoulders are back. And then I do not want my arms going out to the side like this. Okay, that's a weak and unstable position, and it's bad for your shoulders. We want to have our shoulders screwed back into position and going back at a 45-degree angle like this. Not to the side like that, not out like this, like that at a 45-degree angle. And that puts your shoulders in a safe and stable position, and it enables us to really use the target muscles to actually perform the exercise. So it would look like this. My core's engaged, my glutes are engaged, I'm looking straight ahead, and then I'm just pushing down, coming down slowly, and then up. Now, my forearms are coming down straight above my wrists. A common mistake that I see people doing all the time with press-ups is when they go down, their arms go out to the side like that, so they go like this, and their forearms actually bend out in a bad angle over their wrists. We want our forearms to stay at a 90-degree angle over our wrists through the movement. So essentially our forearm should barely move at all through the movement, and the only bit that's moving is the upper arm and then the chest and the shoulder. And that again provides more stability and makes it a much safer exercise. So again, I'm coming down like this at a 45-degree angle out to the side. So that would look like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, to make the exercise a bit harder, we're just going to do it on the lower surface here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now if you're doing it in the house or wherever you're doing it, we just want to make sure that we're doing it on a fixed surface, okay, something that can't move. So there's nothing worse than trying to do it on chairs, for example, and then the chair's slipping out the way, all right? So that's press-ups. I'll just demonstrate them to you on the floor now, so if you can do them on the bench or on a raised surface, then that's absolutely fine. This is the next way to do them. So I'm not going to use the mat. So what I'm doing, again, my arms are tight and engaged. My hands are just wider than shoulder width apart. My whole core is engaged, my glutes are engaged, and I'm going down nice and slowly and up. And I'm going down for 2, 1, 2, hold for 1, and then up for 2. Okay, so now it's your turn. Press ups. Find a height, a surface that's stable and safe, and that's at a difficulty that's going to enable you to do the kind of reps that we're looking for. Okay, if you find that you can only do 1 or 2 reps with good form, and that's the key, good form, then just look at doing it on a slightly higher surface. But if you're good on the higher surface, then lower it down to the ground, and that's going to work really, really well. Get to it. So the fourth exercise, which is an optional one, but if you've got the chance to do it, I really recommend it, is dips. Now, if you're doing this in the gym, you'd use dip bars, which are 2 parallel bars either side of you. Your hands would be over them like that, and what you'd do is you'd go down in a sideways motion like this. Now, we don't want to, have to go to the gym to do this exercise, so we can either do them in the house using 2 chairs, or we can use it outside in the park on something like this, which is a park bench. Now, because we've just got 1 park bench here, we're going to do it one-sided at a time. So we're going to do it left-sided first and then right-sided second. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the dip motion, which is going down and then using our chest to push up. But what we're going to do is we're going to use our legs to assist us through the motion. So this exercise, again, it's a really, really good one for developing strength all across your upper body, particularly the chest, the shoulder, the triceps, but also your core as well, and also your lower body to a lesser degree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to the bench. Again, it wants to be stable. And the benefit about using a bench like this with a handle is my hand is in the right position with my palm facing away from me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the bench, I'm looking straight forward, my core's engaged, nice and tight, and I'm going to go down nice and slowly, and then when I get to about 90 degrees, I'm going to gradually push up with my shoulder and my tricep. My arm's going to lock out at the top, and I'm going to come down again slowly, nice and controlled. Same same timings, down for 2, hold for 1, up for 2, hold for 1. And then what we're going to do is, as I said before, we're going to give just enough of a push with our legs to actually help us get through the movement. And then as you get stronger in the upper body, you can give yourself more of a push with your legs to essentially make the exercise more engaging and more strenuous on the upper body. So to demonstrate it again, looking straight ahead, and then my arms nice and tight, my whole body's nice and tight, down and up. And you really want to feel it here in the chest and the arm and the shoulder. If you feel it elsewhere in the body, it probably means that you're not doing it correctly. So, for example, one sticking point or one thing that will show that you're not doing it correctly is if your core's loose and not engaged, and then you start bending into it to help yourself up. The focus always has to be correct form. So you want your core to be engaged, and if your core can't stay engaged throughout the whole of the exercise, you just want to give yourself more of a push with your legs, and that's going to enable your core to actually stay engaged, and then that's going to keep you focusing on using the right muscles. So to use the right arm now, just turn around, and again, right, I'm holding onto the bench, looking straight ahead, and then I'm coming down, coming down, coming down, and then up, 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 up. Okay, now this exercise is quite strenuous on the shoulders, which isn't a bad thing, but it just means that you really must be warmed up before you do the exercise. So that's why I put it after press-ups, because press-ups tend to be easier. And then once you're fully warmed up from doing press-ups, you can then just warm up into this one, do a couple of quick sets to warm up, and then you're good to go. So if you're in the gym, I'd recommend doing it just on the parallel bars, assisted, so with a resistance machine pushing you up, or if you don't have that in the gym, my ideal preference would be to use a TRX system or gymnastic rings if your gym's got them. But obviously we don't want to be needing a gym for any of this exercise, so a park bench is ideal for outside, or just a couple of sturdy chairs in the house if you want to do it at home. So that's dips, and that's the fourth and final exercise in this workout. So the next thing after we finish the workout, and we've repeated all the sets of the workout that we have time to do, is to warm down. Now the warm down is always essential. We want to do some static stretching, and that really just enables the muscles to keep their longevity. It helps to get rid of lactic acid, and it helps the muscles to stay nice and long and stretched. So for the upper body, we're going to do a few stretches. The first one is going to be the arm across the chest. Now, when people normally do the arm across the chest, you'll see them doing it like that. And that's actually not a good way to do the exercise. And the reason being, it's pulling the shoulder out of position. It's pulling it, you'll often feel a bit of tension right in the front of your shoulder. The correct way to do this stretch is to bend your arm at the elbow and pull it across like that. And that really, what you're doing then is you're pushing the actual shoulder back into the joint, which is in a nice and stable position, rather than pulling it forward and out of the joint. Okay, so that would look like this. I've got my other arm coming across and just pulling across at the elbow. So that's the first one. This is really good for in here in the shoulder. And the next one, and this is normally a tricep stretch, is to take your arm, put it right behind your head, with your other arm, lean over, and then just pull it down nicely. And what you'll feel there is a stretch in the back of the arm, in the tricep right here. And again, 30 seconds, ideally, like this. What you can do is obviously do them both on each side. So that would look like this on the other side. And again, when you're doing these stretches, just look straight ahead. Ideally have your core engaged, your glutes engaged. We always want to focus, as with running, on having that stability, so we're not, putting any unnecessary force or tension through our body. So those are the 2 upper body stretches that I'd really recommend doing. Now let's look at the lower body stretches that I recommend doing after we finish the workout. So we're now just going to do a few lower body stretches just to warm down the body. So the first thing we're going to do is a quadricep stretch. You can either do this with support or without. Here I'm just going to use some support to do it. And what I'm going to do is, again, whole body engaged, quads are engaged, looking straight ahead, and I'm just pulling my quadricep up behind me. I'm sure you know this stretch already. I'm sure you've seen it done 100 times before. So I'll just keep it very short and simple, looking straight ahead. And again, I really want to feel that tension right here in the quadricep. Okay, very easy. And then we're going to go straight onto the other side and do the same there. If you want to do it without anything to support you, I learned this when I was a kid. A good way to do it, to help you balance, is to actually hold onto your ear on the opposite side, focus on a point straight in front of you, and then just, again, do the stretch, and you should be able to balance okay. All right, so that's the quadricep stretch. Next, we're going to move into a seated hamstring stretch. So that would look like this. What we're going to do is, there's different ways you can do it, but I like to do it like this. Have one leg behind you, another leg, the leg you're going to target out in front of you like this, and then just gradually lean into it. Put your arm, bring your arm forward, and then just gradually lean down. You're going to feel it also in the groin to a lesser degree, and also to the calf. But the primary focus is in the hamstring. And what we can do is just really lean into it and just take it slowly. Again, this is the hamstring can be a really tight muscle, so you don't want to rush into this stretch, overstretch and cause yourself an injury. Just take it really nice and slowly. And then the same on the other side. The other thing you can do is put both your legs out in front of you like this and come down. And again, I'm really feeling that in the back of the calves and the quads, in the hamstrings, sorry. And the other thing you can do also is put your legs out to the side like this and then come forward. And again, I'm feeling it in the hamstrings and the groin area. Right, so again, ideally 30 seconds on each side if you're just doing one side then the other. And then what we're going to do is go into a seated groin stretch. Now I can't actually do this properly because my trousers, would you believe, are a bit too tight. I've just washed them. But what you'd actually do to do it correctly is bring your feet in like this, hold on to your feet, so the soles of your feet are touching or facing together. Grab your toes, bring your elbows into the sides of your kneecaps, and then just push yourself down. I'm actually feeling this, even though my trousers are really tight. So just like this, I'm looking straight ahead, and I'm feeling it in the groin, okay? The further into you bring your heels, and the more you push down, the more you're going to stretch out the groin. So again, depending on your current level of flexibility, you can make the exercise either easier or harder. That's the groin. The next thing would be the hip flexors. So for the hip flexors, what we want to do, pick a leg. In this case, I'm going to work the left side. I've got my right foot 90 degrees out in front of me. I'm looking straight ahead, and I'm already starting to feel it here in the left side. And what I'm just going to do is just push through from behind. So I'm using my glute in a way to actually push my left leg through, as it were, and I'm really feeling it all down here. So this is a really good one for developing flexibility in the hips, and it's a really nice exercise to do. So 30 seconds either side with that. And then just in closing, we're going to stretch out the calf, and there's different ways you can do that. You can do it on the ground like this, by treading on the back of your heel. That's a really good way to do it. If you're going to do it like this, just be careful not to snap it on, because you really don't want to risk overdoing it and damaging your calf muscle. Or you can do it leaning against the wall like this, where you just, now again, I'm kind of leaning right into the wall. I'm working the left side here, my other right foot is just assisting it. I'm pushing back, and I'm really feeling it down in the calf. So that's the stretches. The whole body's now stretched out. I'm feeling good after the workout. That's the end of this workout. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next workout.